I actually found this position on Twitter, surprisingly. In the starting, it will be difficult to survive because of the cultural differences. I feel Austria is a most livable country.
So guys, welcome back to the channel. Lab Technician here. In this video I get the chance to interview a PhD student. She's in the final year of her PhD, and I think it would be very interesting to ask her a couple of questions regarding her career, because I know from experience that many people are wondering whether to do a PhD or not. And today we have the chance to interview one, and I collected some questions which I think are very interesting to ask a PhD student, to get some answers from her, and to clear up the question whether someone should do a PhD or not, and also answer some questions about what the experience was like, if it was worth it. And yeah, let's just, without any further ado, let's start and ask Suchi a couple of questions. So first of all, thank you so much for coming and joining for this interview. The first question I would like to ask you: what is your background? What did you study for your bachelor's and master's?
First of all, thanks for inviting. And so, as Daniel introduced, I'm Suchi. So I'm currently doing PhD in University of Salzburg. I'm already in my final year. So I have done my education, my bachelor's and master's from India. So I did my bachelor's in microbiology from University of Delhi. And then I did my master's in biomedical sciences, also from Delhi University. And there's a different department called Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Center for Biomedical Research. And then, yes, I applied for PhD and I got here, so here I am.
Okay. And can you maybe explain what your master thesis was about?
So my master thesis, it was more about, I did it in a genetics lab from Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology. And it was more about analyzing the patient mutations, basically identifying them and characterizing them using basic molecular biology techniques and Sanger sequencing. So I think that was the start of my going deeper into the molecular biology field.
And then how did you transition into your current PhD topic? So what motivated you to go from sequencing and DNA to I think now you are in microbiology? So what was the motivation behind it? And also a further question: why did you want to go abroad?
So I think I'm also a microbiologist, but I also call myself more a cell biologist. So my PhD topic is about host pathogen interaction. So where we used the microorganism as a tool to understand how they affect, how they cause disease at a cellular level. So basically, what motivated me to do PhD in this topic is that I think my background, my education was quite fitting in the area of the study that I'm doing right now. For example, I did my bachelor's in microbiology and then master's in biomedical sciences. And I think the project that I'm doing, it's a mix of where you need to have a knowledge or expertise in microbiology as well as, the cellular biology. So I think it's a mixture of both. So I think my education was fitting into this. And the reason I came here, I think I actually was applying at so many positions abroad, like all over Europe, also, in USA, Australia. And I wouldn't say that I chose Austria. I would rather say that Austria chose me. So I like this position. I really like the topic on which I'm currently working. I actually found this position on Twitter, surprisingly. So I applied, and then I really found my current boss. She was very welcoming in the interview, and I thought I could be a good fit for this project, and I can actually survive in that lab. That was the feeling that I had. And then so that's how I came here. And the reason for coming abroad was I wouldn't say that India was not an option for me. It was also an option for me, but I also wanted to have more global network in my field, to have more international connections. I think that's very helpful in any field to gain to have a growth in your career. So that was the reason I moved abroad. And also I wanted to see more cultural diversity, to see how a different part, or to see the different parts of the world. So I think that was also the motivation for me.
Okay, so never underestimate the power of social media if you said that you found the position on Twitter.
Exactly. So, I mean, I was also applying on other platforms. So, I
Yeah.
think there are official platforms, for example, nature.com, science.com, and then Find My PhD. And then I was also applying through them, then LinkedIn. But, on Twitter, people are actually sharing if they find a nice position. And I accidentally found it. And I was like, okay, let's give it a try. So, I think, yes, you should apply from every possible place that you can.
Okay, nice. So now we are here in Austria, in the countryside. What do you think about Austria? Like, what were your first impressions?
So, actually, I would say that before this, I was already in Finland. So, I had a bit of, like a touch of what European culture could be. So, I was already prepared. So, I knew that maybe, in the starting, it will be difficult to survive because of the cultural differences and so many other factors. But I think I wouldn't say that it was so difficult for me to survive. I think people I met on my first day, they like my lab people, they were very helpful, and the climate was a bit difficult for me. It was too cold, but I think slowly I got acclimatized to the environment and the climate, and in general, I think I really like it here. So it was easy for me to get myself, comfortable with this place.
Okay, so you said already a few differences between India and Austria, like the climate. So it can get a little bit chilly here during the winter.
Yes.
But overall, what would you say are the main cultural differences? So where did you have difficulties? So, like, did you ever feel like, did you experience some negativity?
Actually, I never experienced any negativity here. In fact, I feel more safe, and I feel more. I feel I'm at a very good place. I feel Austria is a most livable country. I feel I never had any problems with that. And I mean, there were cultural differences, but I think I liked them. So, like, I really like the different foods that is here. So even though I'm vegetarian, but even being a vegetarian, I think it wasn't that difficult for me to survive. You can always get your food, like Indian shops and everything. And I think I actually enjoyed the cultural diversity. So I don't know how people like it, but I really like those, those festivals here that I enjoy, like Ofstein, if I'm pronouncing it right, then Krampus Run, and these Oktoberfest. I think it's completely different culture that have, like India have a different culture, and here it's a different culture, and I think I really enjoy this part of the culture that I have. So
Okay, that's very nice to hear. So you would say that people in Austria in the beginning were friendly and welcoming?
yes, to me, yes. I don't know, maybe I am more friendly and a social person, but I think maybe in the starting they could be a bit reserved. But once the relationship is established, I think then they become more open, and then they are more helpful. And at least I could make very nice Austrian friends, and also people from other nationalities who are actually born here. And I think it was not a difficult thing for me to make friends. Yeah.
Okay. And so you found Austrian friends, and as an Indian, did you also find an Indian community in Austria?
So I don't know about Indian communities in Austria. Maybe I know about the Indian communities that we have in Salzburg. So I'm sure that there are Indian communities everywhere, like in all the states. But I only personally know about the Indian communities in Salzburg, and yeah, I think we celebrate so many festivals together. We have gatherings. Maybe it's not a very big community. Maybe if you go to a bigger city like Vienna, they have a very bigger communities at a bigger level. So in Salzburg, we have a small community, but I think we meet regularly, and we celebrate. We just talk, and it's good. Yeah.
Okay, nice. So finding friends is not so difficult, obviously. But one thing that I have heard from foreigners saying quite often is that they have a problem with the language. Would you say that not speaking German is a problem here? Would you say that you can survive in Austria just talking English?
So I would say that surviving is definitely not difficult. You can survive. I have seen people who have survived without language for 10 years. I mean, I myself am now I have completed 3 years here, and although I have now A2 level of German that I had after coming here, but still I think I would say it's easy to survive. It's not difficult, but I would highly recommend that you learn it, because sometimes, if you have to talk to local vendors, or for example, when I have problem with my bike, so then if you go to a local shop person, then it can be a bit difficult. So I would recommend, if you have time before moving abroad, then definitely try to at least have A2 level of German. But if not, definitely you can survive and you have enough time to learn here as well.
Okay, nice.